everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sai Kiran. Today we are going to discuss about IAM Identity. Apologies for my writing, guys. I'm writing it on screen. And then we are going to discuss something about Active Directory services, not Active Directory services, directory services. And then we are going to discuss something about AWS Managed Active Directory. Guys, before jumping on to the practicals, let me tell you something. This practical is a bit hectic. Yesterday, I almost decided to write an apology post on YouTube stating that today we are not going to post any videos because this video has taken whole time. And luckily, one of my friend and we were connected on a Zoom session, and we are able to resolve this. And let me tell you the architecture first. And before jumping on to the architecture, please, I request you to do the practicals. Do not ignore this. We have created one instance and installed Windows Server, right? There we have installed Active Directory. Okay, now we are going to create one more instance, which is Windows instance itself only, and we are not going to install any Active Directory here. Just we are going to install some necessary tools. And here there is something called directory services. Directory services are mainly used. See, imagine there is something called managed Active Directory service. This is something, imagine if your clients want to keep his Active Directory on premises, and then he is not interested to keep Active Directory in the cloud itself. Then there is something called connect to AD. Connect to AD. So what this will do is it will act as a physical component. Of course, it's an AWS service, but it will act as an mediator between the on-prem device and the cloud. And this is managed Active Directory. Managed Active Directory is something if your client allows or if he agrees to keep his all the Active Directory content in the cloud itself, then this managed Active Directory is something where it will go and connect to the local instance. And finally, we do have something called IAM Identity. Previously, this is SSO. So here we do have policy sets, and then we do have users, and then we do have user groups. And there is something called actions. I'm going to show you what exactly is the actions. So what we'll do now is we'll make sure that we are connecting this AD to the Active Directory instance. Why we are connecting? Here we'll create 3 users. How does this IAM identity know that there are users in this particular instance? So that is the reason why we are integrating this Active Directory instance with the connect AD. And here this manage Active Directory AD, we will make sure that we are making an integration between these two, because here also we will be creating 3 users. This is something called synchronizing, guys. Synchronizing plays very important role here. And finally, how we'll integrate this connect AD and how we'll integrate this managed Active Directory to the identity. There is something called actions. Under actions we can select which which directory service you wanted to integrate with, but simultaneously you cannot integrate two. We'll be going to do one after one. And after that, once you have integrated your directory services to the identity, what will happen is all the users whatever you have created here and whatever you have created here, it will reflect here. Okay, guys, by doing this what we will achieve is the very first thing. Imagine we have did an role switching yesterday just for 1 2 3 5 10 users. Imagine there are 2 lakh users. Is it possible to create 2 lakh IAM users and give the access to them? No, right? In such cases, this IAM identity plays a very crucial role. And the second thing what we're going to know is, imagine when you're joining a new organization, they'll be simply asking your username, right? Then what admins will do between this? So this task is exactly what they do. So let's quickly jump onto the practicals. Again, a small heads up, please do the practicals. Do not ignore this after watching this. So here is my console, guys. As I said before, we have created an Active Directory already. If you haven't seen my yesterday's video, please watch that. There I have told you how to install the Active Directory. And then now I have created one new EC2 instance with the Windows Server operating system. And I named it as corp.saikiran.com. You can give whatever you want, but make sure you are remembering this is an normal instance where it does not have any Active Directory in it. Okay, Once after you created the instance, just go back to the directory services, and then see, I have already created this directory services, which is Microsoft AD. I'll tell you how to create now. Just click on setup act directory services, and then select AWS Managed Microsoft AD, and then click on next. You have to select standard edition here, and then you have to give the full quota domain name here, which what I have entered, corp.psychiran.com. Here it is, corp.psychiran. You can give whatever you want to give, and then remove this optional one. It's not really required. And don't get confused here, guys. If you see here, it's not administrator, it's admin password. It's by default. The password for the default administrative user named admin. So it will be taking it as an admin itself only. And then you have to enter the password, confirm the password, click on next, and then create. That's it. And it will take 10 to 15 minutes to create. So that's the reason why I have created it before coming to the session. Now once it is done, just log into your new instance, not the active directory instance. We are not going to touch the active directory instance for a particular point of time. I'll tell you when we are going to do something on active directory instance, but for now we are going to do it everything on the plain instance itself only. Click on RDP, and then get password, decrypt, copy, dp, paste it, and then click on OK. It will take some time for logging in. Let's wait for it. Here is our Windows instance, guys. What you have to do is click on Windows, go to the command prompt, and make sure you're typing ncpa.cpl. It will route to the Ethernet, and then click on properties. Make sure you're opening IPv4, and then use the following DNS server address. Here what DNS IPs you have to enter is, come back to your directory services. If you open this Microsoft AD, here you will be seeing two IPs, okay, 10 20 19. Make sure you're entering it properly, 10.0.20.19. And what was the other one? 10.8.184. 10.0.80.184. Click on OK. Okay, and then close this. Why we are doing this? Now we are going to create some users here. This directory services should know that there are some users here, right? So there should be some sync between these two. So that is the reason why we are syncing it with the DNS IPs. Once after you are syncing it with the DNS, now what you have to do, you have to make sure that you are installing the necessary tools. For that, click on Windows, and then Server Manager, scroll up. If you click on manage, and if you'll be seeing something called add roles and features, click on it. Click on next, next, next. Don't add any active directory services or something, just simply click on next. Make sure you are installing, and see, if you see here, there is something called remote server administrator tool. Click on it, and there is something called role administrator tools. Drop down and select this active directory domain service, and then active directory lightweight directory service, and then click on next. Install. It will take some time for installation. Meanwhile, what we can do is, we'll go back to the command prompt, and we will sync the domain name of our directory services to this instance, to this Windows instance. For that, what we have to do, we have to give sysdm.cpl. Click on change. See, now our full computer name was EC2 Amazon-B0 something is there, right? Now we'll sync this to our domain names directory service. Click on it. What was our directory service name here? corp.psychiran.com, correct? Come back here and then paste it. Click on OK. It will ask for username and password. What was the admin? What was the username? It's admin, not administrator, and give the password, which what you have created there. Click on OK. Now see, welcome to the corp.cyclone.com, and it will automatically restart. See, it will ask for you the restart and click on OK. It will take some time to come up. Meanwhile, what we can do is, I'll restart now. Meanwhile, what we can do is, now we'll open the IAM Identity Center and just click on enable. It will route you to the dashboard. See, this is the dashboard of the Identity Center. Once after entering here, what you have to do is you have to click on settings. Scroll down under identity source, you will be finding something called actions. Under drop down, you can select change identity source. Now here you have to select the Active Directory service and then click on next. Under existing directories, we have created one AWS Managed Active Directory Service, right? Under directory services, so it will reflect here. See, corp.cyclone.com and click on it. Next, make sure you're accepting all the terms. Accept and then create. If you see here, it's disconnecting from the identity center and connecting it to the AWS service directory. Where is our AWS service directory? It's in the EC2 instance. This is the EC2 instance. So it is connecting there. Why it is connecting there? Whenever you are creating in a new users, automatically it will route here in the users. It's created, right? Yeah, it's created. And guys, don't forget to sync, because it will be syncing in the backend. Whenever a new user is added, so it will sync in the backend. Okay, till now it is done. Here what you can do is, this is the link where you will be giving it to the people whomsoever is having access. You can give it to them. Simply they can bookmark it. If you wanted to change it, you can change. Just click on customize AWS access portal and you can give any subdomain whatever you want. In my case, it's really not required for me. Just testing, right? Yeah, that's it from this identity center. Once it is done, now you have to log in back to your portal. Where is my corp dot? Yeah, this is the one. Connect. Now the admin name will be different because RDP, because we have synced this with our domain name service. I'll paste this. Connect. My admin name would be admin. Admin is what? Admin is the directory service username, and then our directory name, directory domain name. What was the directory domain name? corp.cyclone.com. Yeah, copy it, come back here, paste it. Make sure you're entering the correct password, which what we have given during the time of creation of directory services, and then click on OK. It will connect now. Oh, I have given wrong password, I think. Let me cross check again. Admin at the rate corp dot cyclone.com. Okay, it should work now. See, it's working. Maybe I've given the wrong password before. Let's wait for some time till it gets logged in. So we just logged in, guys. Before jumping onto it, let me show you one small difference here. We have created one active directory, right? And then this is an normal instance where we have not created any active directory. If you see the difference here, this is my during the time of testing, I have taken the screenshot for you to show it. See, this is AWS Management Active Directory. See what and all resources were there, and this is our own Active Directory. Got it? This is the difference between these two, and I'm going to minimize this. Now, what you have to do, you have to make sure that you are adding some users in it. Command prompt dsa.msc. Previously, what was the domain name? If you remember, the domain name was some AWS management, something is there, right? Now see, now it is synced with the corp.cyclone.com. This is our directory service. Now here we have to create users, guys. Be careful here. This will ruin your entire day if you give any wrong information. I just avoided giving the user, the email ID. and it took me some 3 4 hours to like address what was the exact issue, because before in SSO, even if you're not giving email, it will sync and then it will able you to log in. But if you're not giving you the email now in the recent updates, then it will not allow you to log in. You can't create the users directly here. Make sure you're dropping down on the corp and then drop down on users, right click on the users, new user. I'll give the username as avinash at the rate corp.psychiron.com, and then give the password, finish. Now double click on Avinash and then make sure you are entering the email ID here. You can also enter the telephone number, but not the real one. Just give some random number and email. You can give whatever you want to give and then click on apply and then okay. I'll create one more user. Same, click on user. Make sure you're giving the password correctly. Next, and then fine, and then click on next. Finish. Double click on Murthy and then make sure you're giving the phone number and email address. Nice. Now click on apply and then okay. Once it is done, you can add them to the group also. Simply create one group here and then I'll give the name as AWS admins group, or you can give it as financial group, or you can give it as admins group. Click on OK. Double click on it. Members. Add. Check names. And then again check names. Okay, and then apply, click on OK. Nice, we have created 2 users, right? So once it is done, go back to your identity portal. Now here what we'll achieve by coming back to the identity portal, this is as this SSO will integrate with the particular directory and all the users present in that directory will reflect here. By doing this, we don't require to switching. Like if you remember our yesterday's class, we did some role switching. By doing this, we don't require for role switching. It will directly push you to a portal and it will login you with the help of multi-factor authentication. Now what we shall do is click on AWS account, select the account. This is my master account. Add, assign users or groups. Now here make sure you're adding the users. We have created 2 users, right? Now you have to add the 2 users here. See, here is my domain name and I'll click Avinash and then I'll click add. It will sync in the backend. See, my user has been added. If I've given Sai Kiran, see, it will not work because there is no user. And then I'll give Moti, add it, click on submit. Once it is done, you have to wait for some time, guys. Under users, it will pop up here once it is synced. Okay, let's wait for some more time. So if I refresh now, see guys, now I'm able to see the 2 users which we have created. Now go back to your AWS accounts. Now you have to initiate them. Now you have to give some permissions to them and we'll be able to access with the same usernames. Click on Cyclone PI, assign users. Here are my users. I'll select these 2 users and then I'll click on next. Create permission set. Guys, permission set is again something, this is like a policy. You're giving policy to the particular users. I'm going to give administrator access, but you can give EC2, S3 or whatever you want. I'm directly giving administrator access. And then 1 hour is enough. Description NA, and then click on next. Create. Policy has been created. If you come back here and if you refresh, See, you'll able to see the administrator access. Click on next, submit. Wait for some time, it will take. Okay, it's done. Now what you have to do, you have to click on dashboard. I told you right here we'll be seeing something called actions. Now I'll show you that. If you go to settings, see under identity source we do have something called actions. This actions is not required. I'm sorry. You can directly open this portal. I should not have opened here. I'll open it in a incognito mode because it will sync with rest of all these open tabs. I'll copy this and then I'll open it in a incognito mode. My username is Avinash and then I'll click on next and then password. See guys, we have logged into the portal directly. Click on sign in. Now it will be asking you for authentication, multi-factor authentication. See, this is a security key where you will be having some physical device. This is authenticator app. You have to install Microsoft Authenticator authentication app, and if you click and select, then you will be seeing one barcode, and then you have to scan it, and automatically some OTP codes will be generating on your security tokens will be generating on your mobile screen. Then you have to enter that here, and this is built-in authenticator which is fingerprint. I'm going to follow with this. If you have, you can also follow with this. I'll click on OK. Done. If you have camera, it's also fine where you can be doing it with the face check. Done. Now I should be able to log into the AWS console. If I click on this drop down, administrator access, now it is signing me into an account. See guys, we have successfully logged in here. We have achieved it finally. See, whenever a developer or QA engineer, simply what you can do from the next time, you can simply add him into an add him into this directory group. Where is our instance? This directory group, where it is? Here it is. This instance, and then what you have to do, you have to create one user to him, and then you have to make sure that you're syncing this identity center with the Active Directory service. Then automatically, whatever users you have created there, it will be reflecting here. Let's check whether this user does have all the access or not. We have given administrator access, right? But in real time, don't give administrator access. The reason why I am showing is just to show you. Running, if I remove this, it's okay. And then launch instance. Okay, it does have all the access. Instead of launching instance, I'll do one thing. I'll simply create one S3 bucket. It's in Sydney. Okay. See our flow logs. Create bucket. And then if I scroll down, create bucket. See, the bucket has been created successfully. Nice. So this is how you have to do it, guys. This is what in real time how it works. So now I'm going to give you one small task. Do not worry, it's very small task. You have to do something called connect to AD from the directory service. If you come here and if you click on active, see there is something called AD connector. Okay, it's now your assessment to do. I'll tell you how to do it. Very simple. Do not worry. Just simply create this and then create small. Give the description. Make sure you're selecting the VPC and public subnet 1 and public subnet 2 and make sure you're clicking on next. Here the DNS name you can give it as Active Directory name. What was our Active Directory name? My Active Directory name is saikiranad.com. This is the same domain I have given for Active Directory. You also have to give the same domain which what we have given in the Active Directory. And then this is optional. Guys, do not confuse here. DNS IP addresses means you have to come back to your Active Directory instance. See, we have created one Active Directory, right? Here it is, AD. You have to copy the private IP, not the public IP. You have to copy the private IP so that this connect AD and then our Active Directory instance both will get into sync. So you have to paste this here. Username, administrator, don't give DevOps user and all, administrator. give the spellings properly, and then password. You have to give the password. Confirm password, click on next, and then create. That's it. Once after creating, what you have to do is, how I have created users, simply go to your Active Directory instance and create 3 users. Come back here to the identity service and make sure you're syncing it how I showed. Click on dashboard and then go to settings. Once after you have created the users, then what you have to do is simply click on actions, change identity source. Here you have to select your Active Directory, and then if you click on drop down, here you will be able to see the new domain which you have created with the connect to AD. Okay, and then select the same process which what I did. Just follow the same process, and you will be able to find all the users what we have created. Try to access it. That's all for today, guys. I hope you understand my session. I personally request you to please put it in the comment section. How was my explanation, or how, if you wanted me to improve anything via, like, on communication skills or technical skills or something. Even if it is hatred comment, that is fine. I'm gonna take it. Even if it is rude, it's okay. I'm not gonna report. I just want to know, but like, whether you guys were understanding it or not, so that I can improve myself in the future, coming on the next sessions and all. So that's all from my end, guys. Tomorrow we are going to start S3 sessions, and tomorrow I'm going to discuss something about guard duty and KMS RAM, and after that we are going to start S3. Till now we have covered all the networking and security part. Networking is VPC components, security groups, route tables, and everything. And then after that we have covered IAM. Now today is the last day for the IAM sessions. And tomorrow I'm going to discuss something about guard duty. And after that, we are going to start S3 buckets. And after that, we are going to start databases, whereas RDB and Aurora, SQLDB, MongoDB, and all. And after that, we are going to start cloud formation templates. Yeah, that's it. That's all from my end for today. And we are going to meet in the tomorrow session. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye bye.